Welcome back, Summoners. We are here with another casual esports amateur league game, this time from the Noxian division. It will be between Mundolicious and Apes Together Strong. Mundolicious will be on blue side, Apes Together Strong. So, for those who don't know the teams, Apes Together Strong has Cyanite, Randomonium, King Majora, Kazoo, and Uncle's Alone Time. And Mundolicious has Hyares, Oya Polina, Zixu, Cheryl's, and Rio of the Wildfire. Apes Together Strong are currently tied for first place within their division. Mundolicious are one of a number of teams that are kind of sitting in the middle of the pack, so they're looking to maybe try to dethrone Apes Together Strong and climb their way up in the standings to set themselves up for playoffs here.
Yeah, super excited to see what both teams are going to bring into this next game and into this matchup. I've seen Apes Together Strong in the past. I've seen how well they play together, and they're kind of like synergy with one another. And I'm excited to see a new team that I haven't watched before, Mundolicious. And I want to know what kind of styles they bring and what kind of things they're going to bring to the game here. Without further ado, though, let's go quickly into some pro draft and run us down through team comps and picks and bans here.
So Mundolicious are running a pretty standard team comp. They have Garen top. That is an Echo jungle. Victor mid, Tristana Braum bot lane. Apes Together Strong are using Aurelia top, a Mumu jungle, Cass mid, and then Ashe and Terran in the bot lane. Mundolicious, I feel like have a good balance of sort of early game and scaling. Garen, very strong early. Braum is very good early into aggressive or other melee supports like Tarek, because it makes it easy for him to get a stun off. Trist is kind of a weird mix. She has a very good all-in early, but is otherwise weak, but scales really well. Victor, excellent scaling. Echo, kind of snowball dependent, but can snowball very well. Apes Together Strong, I think, have drafted a little bit more of a scaling team composition. Ashe is a pretty safe laner, but I don't think of her as being one of the most aggressive supports. Mumu, as a tank jungler, often has kind of a weaker early game. Cass is a scaling pick. Aurelia, to me, is an interesting pick here because Aurelia is a champion with very high skill ceiling. She has a lot of outplay potential, but she generally struggles in top lane if she's against juggernauts, champions like Garen, like Darius, because it's kind of like Yasuo. You ever see the scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where the swordsman is like whipping his sword around, doing all these fancy moves, and then Harrison Ford just pulls out his gun and blows him away? That's Aurelia versus Juggernaut. She dashes around, she's getting all the resets. Garen's like, me press E, me press R, me get killed.
Demacia,
yes. So, Cyanite can, I think, really take over this lane if he outplays the Garen. But I think that he has to be very careful that Garen doesn't just kind of stat check him. Because the Garen combo of silence into spin into ult does a lot of damage, and for a character who's not very tanky, particularly early on, Aurelia is going to be very vulnerable. And as a character who's very ability dependent, the silence will really shut her down.
Yeah, very interesting on both sides here. With that being said, folks, let's jump into game and see what both these teams are going to bring to the table. Hasagi!
So this is usually where I do runes and masteries. It all looks pretty standard. Double Conqueror top lane, Dark Harvest and Aftershock. The mid lane, I think, is where we see the interesting stuff because both of these are champions who have multiple options for their keystone. Cass can either go phase...
I do see like a little cheeky invade at the start here, but Mumu's just going to walk away, doing his ward there as well. And I think they're both just going to agree to lead backing reset.
Yeah, they're just going to take the advantage to get a ward on his red buff, and that'll help them track his path a little better. Victor went phase rush, which is a pretty common keystone on Victor. It helps him kite a lot, but it does trade off poke. Poke Victor will sometimes go electrocute or airy. So this to me suggests Zixu wants to scale. He's not looking to like fight King Majora early, and he's just comfortable, getting his hex core upgrades, getting his items, and then doing damage in the mid to late game. King Majora did take the cleanse, but Cass is also a champion who sometimes goes phase rush. But in this case, he went Conquer, which is more of a stand and fight rune, which suggests he's less worried about like the Garen or the Echo diving onto him, and he's more interested in being able to maximize his DPS and sustain in an extended fight. Which, given that he does have a Taric who can make him invulnerable and peel for him, and an Amumu who can set him up, I think isn't a bad plan. It's maybe a bit, I don't want to say greedy, but he's definitely going for a maximal result here.
Yeah, you do see some nice trading coming in from bot side. Both teams just giving them a couple stuns, little whacks, though, and then walking away here. Should be a pretty interesting bot lane. Thoughts on how this lane matchup's going to go with Ashe Taric versus the Tristana Braum?
Realistically, I expect a lot of this to be farming unless there's jungle ganks, because these are both scaling ADCs, and both of the supports are what Riot calls warden or defensive tanks. They don't engage very well. Like, Braum can flash ult, Taric can flash stun, but their engages are kind of telegraphed, they're not very guaranteed. And so both of these champions are more about I protect, I counter engage. The Echo goes in and I Taric stun him. The Amumu goes in and I Braum ult him. And so given that neither support is really necessarily wanting or positioned to go aggressive, I think that we'll see them farm. I do think the poke advantage is probably on the side of Mundolicious, because Tristana can sort of poke ambiently with her explosive charge passive. Braum has decent poke with his Q, particularly once he gets some levels in it, because it does have excellent base damage. So they may be pushing the Ashe Taric under tower, but outside of jungle ganks, I don't think we're going to see a lot of kills here.
Yeah, as you were saying there, a lot of farming from all lanes actually here. And I think, what you were saying before earlier with that scaling versus scaling here, it's going to be proven true with all of these matchups.
Yeah, the only real issue I would see with scaling is that Hyarius' Garen is probably going to be outscaled by Cyanite's Aurelia eventually. The question is just how long it takes, and what Aurelia manages to do with that scaling. Is she using it to team fight? Is she split pushing? Looks like Garen did go Longsword first, which could be for Trinity Force, which would be my guess. Cass did go the Sapphire Crystal first, probably for tier.
No, we do see an Echo gank coming in. Some nice damage onto the Cassiopeia there, but she is going to be slithering away like the slithery snake that she do, and possibly into a reset. If she doesn't respect the reset, I think Echo is just going to do another regank or an invade onto a Mumu.
Yeah, Zixu's kind of low on mana, but they did get the Dark Harvest stack, which in some ways is just as important, because Echo jungle is kind of snowball dependent. He's well equipped to snowball, but he kind of needs the early game to go well. And so getting some free Dark Harvest procs to help stack up his damage early is going to be pretty important.
You see some just some counter jungling on the side of Echo, going onto a Mumu, trying to punching him down. If Echo is successful in some of this, it's actually really nice because you can get that level of 6 before Mumu and prove big on team fights. Whoa, he does a nice engage on the mid lane there. She does have to flash that and for her life. Echo is proven he's there, he's here, and he wants to fight anything that is in his wake.
Yeah, I think that, and mid is probably the most gankable here. Bot lane is under their turret. Top lane, I mean, let's be real, no one ganks top lane. But he's also like, Garen's got that under control, so you don't need to gank it unless there's a really good opportunity for a gank. So mid lane is sort of the most viable place for a gank. Both mid laners are coming back. There's the tier and another Sapphire Crystal on the Cassiopeia. So notably, she'll have a lot of mana and a lot of sustain, but she doesn't have any ability power yet. She doesn't actually have any damage. Victor does pick up his Hex Core Mark 1 to upgrade one of his spells. I don't know if you can tell what she's upgraded from Spectator View. I don't think you... he's upgraded Death Ray, which is usually the first upgrade. I believe it's Death Ray, then Siphon Power, and then Gravity Field last.
Yeah, it should be. Tell me a little bit about that matchup, actually. I'm not too familiar with the Victor Cassiopeia matchup. How do you favor, and what's going to be happening in this lane here?
Victor's wave clear, I think that early is pretty even. Victor has the advantage of that once he has the upgraded Death Ray, his wave clear is just crazy, and he can do a lot of damage to you while he's doing it if he catches you with the Death Ray and the Explosion. He does have access to his Chaos Storm now, his ult. But I think that Victor probably has the ability to just, Death Ray the wave, walk away, and then look to either roam or maybe try to take jungle camps, look for dragon. The only thing that'll really keep him busy is if he runs out of mana, but because he does get mana per level from the Hex Core, he's probably okay in that front. It gives him, I believe, 15 mana per level, and gives him 3 ability power per level currently. He's going to be taking blue buff, which will solve the mana issue.
Yeah, you see just a lot of farming, and then the early dragon's going to be a little bit harder for all teams here. Just because the Mumu doesn't really take it early, and Echo really doubling down on a lot of his gank. We should see what comes next. We do see another engage here top side. Nice trading on both sides. They are level 6, so this next fight will definitely decide on who's going to be heavily favoring in this lane here.
The Garen pickup of the Bramble Vest I really like. I once had a laner tell me it was the anti-Aurelia vest, particularly given that she is going to Blade of the Ruined King first. Aurelia is very auto-attack dependent. All of her healing comes out of auto-attack.
Here's the gank onto mid lane. Flash coming out from the Victor there. And then the Echo has joined the fight as well. Here comes the man of the hour. The Garen has showed up. Flashing Demacia taking first blood.
He's not using Demacian Vice, unfortunately, which might be the best Garen skin. But yeah, I really liked the Bramble Vest early to really the thing with Fruitus Wounds is that you need to get it before healers get out of hand. If you wait until afterwards, it is too late. And knowing that Aurelia is going Pork first, he puts his first gold into Bramble. He's actually going first in Thornmail. He already has the Warden's Mail. He's like, look, we're just going to shut this whole thing down. We're not going to do this. We're not going to play around with you healing and you getting bored and you sustaining through my damage. No. We're building Thornmail and we're going to put a stop to it. He is going to lose damage, but Garen's bases are pretty good. And Echo does solo Dragon, so that Inferno will help a little bit with his damage there.
Yeah, and we see the Cloud Drake coming out after that, so we're going to be potentially getting a Mountain and or an Ocean Drake, which will be good for both teams, actually.
Yeah. I don't know which I like more. To me, it does depend on some of the characters I'm playing. Ocean's always great. If I want a pure tank, I kind of prefer the Mountain Soul, just the shield and the resist, but either one will be good for both teams. Both teams have a lot of frontliners, a lot of sort of sustained damage champs that'll benefit a lot from either one. And notably, you see one of the powers of Garen here. Garen not just has crazy regen from his passive, but he's manaless. And Aurelia is not. Aurelia's already consumed all of her corrupting potion charges. Did she take biscuits? Not sure. Let's see. She did take biscuits. She's already consumed all of those. So she's at half mana. Garen's back up to full health. So Garen can just kind of wait her out.
Oh, we do see the Mumu going in on the mid lane there. The Victor doesn't have flash anymore and does get picked off by the Cassiopeia Mumu.
Yeah, that was just a good regain from Randomonian. He knows the Victor doesn't have flash because he burned it earlier. I don't know if Gravity Field was on cooldown maybe. But either way, they just successfully clean up a kill, which does go to the Cassiopeia. So that will jumpstart her Archangel staff. Yes, and then it's Seraph's Embrace is the upgraded one. I never built them, so I don't remember. But notably, the bot lane plate advantage is very much in Tristana's favor. Tristana is an excellent tower-taking champion, and they've been able to force the Ashe out of the lane, pick up a 20 CS lead, and pick up 2 plates. So let me see what the it's about a 600 gold lead for the Tristana, a little bit more. So basically all of the gold lead is in ADCs right now. Charles is working on what I would assume is Storm Razor, and is probably pretty close to having it here. He'll just need the Kirke Shard.
Yeah, you do see Apes Together Strong really just like keeping it slow, keeping it steady, kind of just doing what they need to do, and setting up for potential future just ooh, Demacia going down. Actually, Aurelia having to flash there. It was very close. Even with the Garen, with the full armored Garen, can still hurt you.
Yeah, Garen's ult does true damage based on your missing health, so it doesn't matter how, what resist you have, what he has, it's still 150 plus 20% of your missing health. And that always hurts. Aurelia is going to TP back in. She's got the components of Bork, but doesn't have a full item. Garen could back here for his full Thornmail. She may try to ult here. No, she's not going to ult. I'd like to see Garen back and just pick up his items and then walk to lane, because since his TP is close to being off of cooldown, he'll have it for the next dragon or other objective. So I'd like to see him back, complete Thornmail, maybe start on his damage item, and then go back to lane, but be ready to ult to the next fight, if TP to the next fight if he needs to.
Yeah, I'm really watching where this Garen's going to be TPing to, because you do see him. He's kind of like Mr. Worldwide in the sense of where he's, not unlike your top lane solo queue members, they're actually just going to be roaming around the map here. You do see Aurelia ulting. The Victor is just doing his nice damage, doing his nice combo, taking off the Aurelia herself there. And even in response to that, you see Garen roaming down just in case Cassiopeia shows up. And it really shows great communication on the side of Team Mundolicious.
Yeah, they knew exactly where Aurelia was. Zixu's waiting to pick up the kill. And notably, Aurelia's W, Defiant Dance, I believe, gives her physical damage resistance, but not magic damage resistance. It doesn't do anything against Victor's damage. So with the Ignite, with his ult, he's able to pick up that kill, partially because the issue with this Bork build for Aurelia, or for any champion that's doing it, is you don't get any tank stats for your first item. The typical Aurelia build is Bork, Cleaver, Sterox, Wit's End, and on 3 to 4 items, it's Dynamite. But right now, she's not tanky. Her damage is based around her just being able to auto-attack someone for an extended period of time. And she's only got, 1,300 health, and Victor does more than 1,300 damage. She doesn't actually manage to complete her board. Garen does take a detour from finishing his Thornmail for Sheen and Phage. Normally, you want to try to finish items whenever possible for space efficiency, if nothing else. But he's got the important passives from the components. And at this point, I think that he's okay to start itemizing into some damage with the gold they got from getting first tower.
Yeah, you see the ping going down on Amumu, seeing him, he was shown on a pink ward up by the topside river. So Echo knows, yeah, this is a clean dragon, folks. Let's get this and get on out of here.
Yeah, notably, Randomonium has a significant CS lead, almost 30 CS, so about 8 camps over the Echo. He's 2 levels up, and he's been spending most of his time farming and amassing a probably significant gold, about 400 gold lead. But Echo's like, all right, I'll take Dragon. Order Polina is like, I don't mind if I get behind. I have gotten the neutral objectives. I got the Rip Herald, which I used to get top tower to empower my top laner. I have helped get the 2 dragons. I have used for the bot laners. So he's okay with being a little behind because he's Echo, he's a skiller. So he's like, look.
You do see the flash engage from the Echo and ulting out immediately from that as well. It will be very hard to kill the Taric into the Ashe with Taric having his ult ready.
Garen's going to TP mid here just to defend it. So overall, it's about a 2,500 gold lead for Mundolicious. Even though it's only 2-1, they essentially just have the big leads in farm. They got the first and second towers. They got all the plates on those towers. So they're fairly strong now, and everyone has about a 500 gold lead on their opponents, which means they're all like a component up. 700 in top, 300 deficit in jungle, but 300 in mid, 1,000 in ADC, and then 400 in support. So they've all got like just a little bit more in terms of health, a little bit more in terms of damage compared to their opponents. Victor has fully upgraded the Hex Core, so my question is what he's going to go for next. Sometimes you see Luden's Echo, but that's a very scaling-oriented build. It really delays Victor's power spike. He does have a Sapphire Crystal, so my guess would be it will be.
Oh, flash over the wall from Garen into the Q, into the E there, trying to get that Cassiopeia down. His team is here to help. His Victor is on the side. His Braum and Tristana are in the mid lane. We might see.
Selena is pinging out the Rift Herald that is coming up in 20 seconds. Mundolicious have really assembled a plan around. We are going to play for neutral objectives, and they're already thinking about, okay, we want to get the second Rift Herald so we can, break the mid lane tier 1 turret and just get more map.
Yeah, they've been playing the objective control in this early game very well, and really had top communication among all members, and really rotation has been really good as well, which is a great thing to note here as well. Seeing the bot lane roam mid while they're going to be transitioning to Rift Herald, seeing the top laner roam mid, and really grouping up and getting these objectives as they should.
Yeah, they do pick up this Rift Arrow, so I was surprised to see them just use it mid. Mid tower is generally more valuable than other towers because it gives you a lot of access into the enemy team's jungle. It is often one of the first places teams will retreat from a fight around Baron or Dragon. So it's probably, in terms of tier 1, it's the most valuable in terms of map control. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them prioritize that with the Rift Herald. But they may be going top and looking to get that second turret top lane. Echo has been spotted on a ward, so they do know that he's up here. Cyanide's playing it safe. He's backing up.
Yeah, and then you can see the quick reaction from Apes Together Strong. Really just going to be focusing down on the turret, getting some objectives themselves here. It's going to be a 3-2 split on the side of Mundolicious. They do drop the Shelly, and they're going to be trying to crack open the top side as well.
Yeah, but Victor's one of those champions, kind of like Malzahar, where you really need Baron to break his protection. He's just so good at stalling out pushes.
Oh, here we go, folks. The Ash Arrow doesn't quite connect there, but you do see the Mumu trying to get that Tristana down. He does ulti, and Braum is going to fall short to the damage from the Ash, from the Aurelia. Here comes Echo! Ulti rewind time, everybody! Taking out the Mumu. Garen's here. The ulti from Taric goes out. They're going to be trying to chip him down. Down goes Garen. They're going to be going on to the Taric, and down goes Taric as well. Tristana hopping, Goomba stomping on people, but finds an Aurelia. Double kill Aurelia. And you see Victor really just choking him down on the Snickety Snake and down in the mid lane there, focusing her out. This was about a 2-for-3 exchange on the side of Mundolicious. But hold the phone here. Echo. Oh, the minion coming in clutch there, trying to just pick him off. And it's back to a 3-for-3 exchange.
Sixtu's looking for the kill. He seemed ready to go off dark. He's like, I want to be Harrison Ford here.
Lasers. Moon. Come on, minions. Come on, minions. Can you do it? No, they're going to back away. Laser. Laser. I'm going to Victor there. That's a strong robot.
Yeah. So he's now 3-1. He's got 300 gold down here. He's got 2,000 gold in pocket. I'm not sure what he's going to go for next. They're going to find Braum.
They're fighting again. They're going down onto the Braum. The Mumu's just, he was following a Mumu into the dragon pit, and they were having a nice hand-holding situation there, but then quickly response back after the Ashe and Taric show up. They are going to be trying to just focus down on the dragon, see if they can steal it. The Mumu versus Echo Smite fight about to occur. A Mumu coming on top with the Smite War. They are going to be re-engaging onto a Mumu. Tristana positioning herself to try and get some more damage onto the backlines there. And Tristana getting poked down by the Ashe. The Aurelia coming in, picking off the Braum as well. Very good team fight on the side of Apes Together Strong. These guys are really good at team fighting and really good at seeing like the chaos through the storm, you know what I mean? And just seeing like, okay, this one's in our way, this one's in our way, this one's in our way, and picking them off one by one, and then they're like, oh, look, we won.
Yeah, what happens is when Cyanide and King Majora get to the fight, their CC is on point. The Cassiopeia Petrifying Gaze stuns the Echo. I think the Aurelia stun catches Tristana. and they just clean up those 2 kills, and they already secure the dragon. One issue you're seeing here is Garen, because he hasn't quite finished his Thornmail, which is lower health than other health and armor items, and he did go Triforce, which gives less health than Black Cleaver. He doesn't have a lot of raw health. He only has 1800. He's actually only marginally ahead of the Aurelia here, partially because he's 2 levels down. He's been roaming so much, he hasn't been getting as much farm. They need him to sit in a side lane and get some CS and finish off some items. Garen does have bonus resist out of his W, which he has almost fully stacked. But he's just not, he doesn't have the raw health to back it up to allow him to just tank income damage. Yeah, he's almost at 2K, but he needs to finish off the Thornmail, and he needs to start getting some more tag items. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Spirit Visage or an Adaptive Helm here as well.
Yeah, quick reset from both teams. You can see, give us a quick rundown on itemization and what teams are going to be building for the next up-and-coming team fight.
So Echo's working on Proto Belt, very standard. Core item on Echo gives him more gap closing, more burst damage. Victor is going for the Lich Bane, which is a pretty common, usually for second item for Victor, it's either Relays if you want to kite, or Chase, and Lich Bane for just raw burst. So he's going for the burst. He's 3-1. He's like, all right, I'm gonna throw some hands. I'm gonna use the Sheen procs, and I'm gonna do a lot of damage here. Tristana is working on what I'm gonna guess is the Infinity Edge, very standard. She's a classic crit-based attack damage carry, and Infinity Edge is a core item. Stormrazor tends to give a better early spike, but you want the Infinity Edge for that scaling damage. Ashe does have her 2-item spike already. So Ashe is quite strong, and I'd say Kazoo is probably stronger than Cheryl's until Cheryl's goes back to finish his Infinity Edge, which he is going to do now. I think Braum's probably tankier than the Taric at this point because Braum went Knight's Vow, which gives him some health. Braum also has an extremely high base armor, so he's got a lot of armor, just not a lot of MR. Whereas Taric has gone for the Seeks, which gives good resist but no actual health. So his health bar isn't quite as high. He's about 200 health under the Braum at this point. King Major is going for the Leandries, which he's just finished. Will absolutely burn through the Braum, burn through the Garen. They don't have any MR. Garen has still not yet finished his Thornmail. I think that right now, HDR or Strong are probably okay, Victor has finished the Lich Bane, so I'm going to say the mid and bot lane carries are about even in terms of itemization. I think I give a slight edge right now to Mundolicious on how much their completed items mean to their characters. Yeah, I'm going to be posturing on Baron. I don't think anyone wants to start it yet. Amumu is really good at interrupting Baron.
Yeah,
because his ultimate, conveniently, is about the size of Baron Pit.
You do see Mundolicious starting it up, and then you see the Victor going on to the Aurelia, but having to flash away. Garen flashing over the wall, going on to Aurelia here, is going to get some nice damage down onto them. Getting stunned, getting exhausted down, and then he does fall short to the Aurelia, does pick up Garen. The Taric is going to flash in, go in onto the Braum, double kill onto Aurelia here. They're going to want more. CasualEAL actually flashing in, getting an E off onto the Tristana. She does get out, she does jump away, and now you see the reverse of this. Apes together strong on to the Baron.
Uncle's alone time comes up huge there. Zixu waits in the bush to try to pick someone off, but he gets hit by the Aurelia stun.
Shut down, coming in large from the Snickety Snack herself, going on to the Victor. And you do see Echo trying to do a nice steal, but is unable to do so, and quickly gets picked off by the CasualEAL as well. They're going to be looking for Dragon now. They're all pretty healthy. Tristana is trying to see if she can at least ward it or potentially even finish it. No, she's just checking it out. Gonna drive past it here. And you do see Apes Together Strong immediately rushing to the Dragon, picking up another Mountain Drake and tying the Dragons even.
Yeah, so that'll tie them up, give them two Mountain Drakes. And given that they have 2 big frontliners in the form of the Mumu and the Taric, that's going to be huge. The issue there is, as I mentioned, Uncle's Alone Time comes up huge with a massive Taric ultimate, Aurelia is very low. She's CC chained by the Victor gravity field and the Braum ultimate, I think, and then the Garen silence. But he hits 4 people with the Cosmic Radiance and no one dies. Garen's left spinning to win on 4 unkillable targets. So he just gets, machine gunned down. He doesn't have the raw stats he needs to just sort of tank that fight out. And so with him down, they then don't have a front line anymore because Rio of the Wildfire gets hit by the Ash Ult and goes down as well. And so the fight just turns because the carries no longer have anyone to protect them. I think that at this point, Mundolicious need to try to obviously stall out this Baron push, and they need to get tank stats onto Hyaris. They need him to finish his Thornmail, they need him to finish what looks like a Spirit Visage, they need him to get tank boots. They need this Garen to get tanky because he's got to basically exist in a fight where he's going to take a lot of damage, and they need him to be able to absorb that damage so the carries don't have to.
Yeah, it should be interesting here. The next team fight is going to be, I think, heavily in favor now of the tables have turned to Apes Together Strong, and they're going to be pretty large and in charge and really commanding this game. What do you see from them in the next couple minutes?
Yeah, they're going to be looking to I think, to push their advantage. One advantage they have is their engage is easier. There isn't a whole lot of hard engage on Mundolicious, whereas for Apes Together Strong, you basically just have randomonium fish for a bandage toss. And if he gets a bandage toss now...
he does get one. He does land it onto the Garen, but his team's a little bit too far back. I think they're pretty safe with the Baron, and they're going to keep with the push here and play it safe. They're playing it slow, they're playing it safe, and I think they're really doing the right call in that sense of just pushing down turrets, getting that extra money, getting that a little bit further ahead, and then when they team fight again, they'll come out on top with more money.
Yep, so they're looking at Echo's gonna get
Echo's going in, gets a 4-man stun with him. He does ulti back out. The Garen's going back. The Aurelia getting a nice ulti off. The Ashe is actually going to be ulting on to the Tristana in the front line. Down goes the Tristana. Down goes Braum. There goes the turret. They want more. They want blood. There's the Garen. He's trying to spin to win. Unable to escape. There goes the Aurelia. She's looking for the Echo. She does pick up the Echo, getting the triple. There's the Victor. Victor is going to get stunned by Tarek. Tarek is taking turret aggro here. Amumu going on to the Victor. Victor is pretty strong. He might be able to pick up a nice double right here. Is he going to go for the triple? He's stopped by the Ashe there. Does get a triple kill. Is this going to be more? He is stopped by the Snickety Snick with the nice E into Q combo.
Yeah, I think he really went to finish off that Amumu, but randomonium's out of there. And you just see part of the issue with going into this team from Apes Together Strong is the stun chain is huge. Aurelia stun, Amumu stun, CasualEAL ult. Charles gets caught by anything, and he gets caught by one stun, and he dies without getting out of the stun chain. Echo goes in and barely manages to get his ult off, even with a big shield to protect him. That shield is 328. But he barely makes it out with his ult, and Garen, again, still not quite tanky enough. And the people who need to dive are going to take so much damage and spend so much time CC'd while trying to dive, that they're just going to die without being able to pick anyone off. And if they do even get close to someone, the CC will buy enough time for Uncle's Alone Time ult to come out.
Yeah, you do see the Echo getting a huge stun off that team fight, getting a 4-person stun, but the team unable to quickly respond. And really unfortunate for the Tristana to be Ashe ulted. Just unlucky in that situation there. And you could see Apes Together Strong coming in and really just doubling down, securing each kill. And then, like I said, they work really well in chaos. They kind of almost essentially slow down time in team fights and work with it. Now you see his stun going in on to the Echo here. He does dodge the CasualEAL ult there. He wants more. He is ulting back out, but it's not going to be enough damage. CasualEAL is doing is really chunky and has about 4 levels up on the Echo here. So those base stats are going to be pretty large. Getting a nice Ashe arrow onto the Victor there. Victor flashing out. There goes the ulti from Aurelia, but unable to connect to anyone there.
Yeah, and the issue is King Majorge does so much healing. He has a lot of health from the relays and Leandries. Like, Oya Polina gets a good stun. He dodges the ult. He ults out of the damage, but he just doesn't have enough health to survive in the fight.
Echo does try and steal this, but he doesn't have a way to escape right now. So Aurelia is going to go right onto him, taking out him with Ashe there. And the Terrace ulti going out is going to land, but it's not on his teammates. He's too far back there, and they do take out the Braum. They are going to go on to the next target here, which is going to be the Garen, taking out the Garen, triple kill to Ashe. The Mumu's trying to do his damage to the front line. Tristana and Victor living with their life. Nice flash and double stun from the Taric there, coming in clutch, picking up that Quadra for Ashe, and almost a Penta, but Cassiopeia taking it away from her.
Yeah, like, it looks okay for Mundolicious for a while there. Like, Amumu is not protected by the Taracle. He chases in the backline and does die. They manage to take out the Aurelia because the Garen ult chunks are low enough, but then they just get run down. A really great flash double Basil stun means that they are able to clean this up, get the ace, get 2 turrets, and Oya Polina, I don't think he can go in there. Yeah, they just. I think that the discussion at this point should shift to, like, what do we do next game? Not Triforce Cleaver Garen, which Hyraris is working on. I think they need a second front line, either out of top or jungle. The issue is, like, Garen has built Trinity Force. He's sitting on a lot of armor that doesn't increase health. He doesn't have much magic resist. I would have liked to see him finish the Thornmail and maybe pick up a Spirit Visage instead of going for Cleaver. Particularly because Garen has Armor Shred naturally anyways, or just have him build the Cleaver. Because I think that the issue Mundolicious is having here is not having a second front line. Support can't be your only front line because they're just working on smaller budgets than a solo laner or a jungler is. And a lot of times the items they're building, like Knight's Vow or Zeke's, give you some tankiness but not of a massive amount because they're relatively cheap. Or there are things like Gargoyles which give you lots of tankiness for very short periods of time. Whereas, like, this Amumu has Gargoyle Stoneplate and Warmogs and Cinderhulk and is building even more defense. Like, he has 3,300 health. And neither Garen nor Echo can really stand in the line of fire enough to do what they need to do. And I think they need a second tank somewhere. Or at least a more solid bruiser.
Yeah, and then you see the Echo going in, gonna try and steal out the Baron, but does have the ulti back away there. The Baron is very low. There goes the Echo. Amumu winning that fight again onto the Baron. Now they're gonna be chipping up the enemy team. They're gonna be going in onto the Garen. They're gonna be going in onto the Victor here. And that's gonna be a nice cleanup on the side of Apes Together Strong. I believe with that, I'm pretty sure the death timers are long enough where they can just run it down mid and take the game here.
I think so. They should have enough damage to towers. They lost Cassiopeia. Garen and Victor did isolate her and pick her off, but between Demolish and Ashe's damage, I think they'll be able to end here, or at least get both Nexus turrets. They don't have they do have a new wave coming in. So yeah, Amumu's gonna tank this using his Gargoyle Stoneplate. They're going for the end here.
Yeah, it looks like they're just gonna be ending Apes Together Strong, coming up hot in these nice long extended team fights, and you see them just gonna be going on to the Echo, going on to the Braum, and on to the Nexus for the victory here. GG, Apes Together Strong take the victory. They had a little bit of a rocky start at the beginning. The counter jungling, the objective control coming out from Mundolicious, but they took a deep breath. They knew what their win clause was. They really just focused down on team fights, and when the the chaos erupted, they just came out on top with major team fights going, okay, this is what we need to do. Get this person, get this person, get this person, and coming in huge. And then they got dragon after dragon after dragon, making their lead going even stronger and stronger and stronger, and leading to a nice victory like we saw here.
Yeah, I think the takeaways here from my team, because I think both teams have things they can sort of clean up and trim up. Apes Together Strong, I think, need to be a little more watchful around neutral objectives, particularly early. They lost both Rift Heralds and both early Dragons, which gave Mundolicious a lot of early power. And I think that if Mundolicious had been able to get the Dragon Soul, that would have covered over their lack of a frontliner because there was a Mountain Soul and given them probably the edge they needed. For Mundolicious, I think they need more tankiness. And I think a little more attention to farming in their jungle. Echo had he did really good at securing neutral objectives, but he fell behind in farm on a Mumu. And that's just something that's always difficult as a jungler, is finding the right balance between ganking and objectives and farming. And I think maybe shift that a little back towards farming and try to make sure that you're not quite so behind on experience, because that experience lead means a lot in terms of damage and tankiness and ability to control objectives because of things like your smite damage.
Very well said here. And final thoughts on MVP and ace of the game.
So I want to give ace to Zixu on the Victor. Great rotations, great damage. Positioning was a little aggressive, I think, in the later game, but I think he really understood that he was one of the biggest damage dealers and needed to put that damage out. Very well played in the Victor, good itemization, good use of his damage, good combos. My MVP choice, I'm going to go with Uncle's Alone Time. I'm going to go with Tarek. Yeah, the more I think about it, it's got to be him because, like, the Cosmic Radiances were massive, routinely making 3 to 4 people invulnerable, completely denying Mundolicious' attempts to dive, that flash double stun under the tower, like really good heals. So many times people like the Cass or the Ashe were close to dying and then didn't because of the terror. So he would be my choice for MVP.
Very well said, very well said, and great game on both sides here. When we come back, we're going into round 2 of Mundolicious versus Apes Together Strong. Hello and welcome back, folks. An exciting game we just witnessed here from our Noxian Division teams. Mundolicious versus our Apes Together Strong. Great game, very fun to watch, and you can see just action all around during all courses of the game here. Phoenix, what do you want to see for picks and bans? What we're gonna see for this game here? What do you want to see, and what do you want to see taken away?
I'm looking at the program, and I like what Mundolicious have done. They took away the Tarek and the Aurelia that Apes the Other Strong used. I don't know if the Aurelia was dominant enough to justify a ban, but the Tarek I think absolutely was. Uncle's Alone Time completely a lot of their engages and attempts to get picks using that invulnerability from the Cosmic Radiance. So I like that change, and I want Mundolicious to draft more tankiness, and I want Apes Together Strong to draft better early objective control.
Very true, very true. And you know what? Let's quickly jump into our picks and bans and see what we got to deal with here this game. Very excited from both of these picks. They look like, again, kind of like a little bit more scaly comps and a little bit of a great like a wombo combo I can see with the Oriana, Nautilus, Warwick from Apes Together Strong.
Mm-hmm. I like that both teams have sort of taken my thoughts, which of course is what they care about the most. Apes Together Strong drafts Warwick, a very strong early jungler, created solo dragons and Rift Heralds, and Mundolicious added Dr. Mundo, a second front line to help tank with the Braum. That is a quirky mid lane. I think the Mundo Vladimir matchup is interesting because I don't know if it's mathematically possible for either of them to die. I don't know if there's a series of commands they could input that would result in one of them dying outside of walking under tower. These are two high sustained farming champions that don't really want to be aggressive early. So once Mundo gets Spirit Visage and Vlad gets some CDR, I don't think either of them can kill each other. They'll just slap each other all day. Mundolicious does have two good scaling ADCs in the Corki and Tristana. Notably, Corki does about half of his damage as magic damage, so he will force MR itemization on Apes Together Strong. I do think Mundolicious are going to need anti-heal, though. Warwick and Vlad, two huge healing champs. I wouldn't be surprised if Jinx built a lifesteal item at some point, or took the lifesteal rune Legend Bloodline. So definitely an important need for anti-heal on the side of Mundolicious.
Yes, I'm. You know what I'm really excited about? Mundolicious getting Mundo. That should be fun. Seeing their mascot coming into game here.
Yeah. That'll definitely set them up with the front line. Sorry, I dropped something. So I think that for me, the spotlight's going to be on the Warwick and the Lee Sin, both early game junglers. Question about how do they gank? Are there invades? Do they do early objective? Well, because I feel like a lot of the action is going to be mid bot, when you have a lot of engaged potential with the Nautilus, whereas the top laners are going to be farming a lot. So I don't think either jungler will really feel the need to gank top lane. So I expect to see a lot of action around mid bottom and the dragon area.
Very true. And let's go right into game here, folks, and see what these two teams have to offer. Without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. Hasagi!
So Runes of Mastery is looking pretty standard. We do have Fleet Footwork on the Corki. Corki did take Ignite, which is interesting, because typically Corki will take like Cleanse or Barrier or Teleport, a more defensive summoner. He's more of a farm-oriented mid laner. He wants to scale, get some items, particularly if Zixu's going to go the Mana-Immune build, which has become increasingly popular. He's not usually looking for early aggression. There is the Conquer on Jinx. I feel like Jinx typically goes lethal tempo or maybe Fleet Footwork, but we'll have to see how much the Conqueror does. He may be expecting to be auto-attacking the Mundo a lot, or the Braum a lot, in which case Conquer will give him a lot of stacking damage and sustain in the process. I do love the Corgi skin with the little flame wings.
Yeah, he's showing off his butt there.
Yeah, a little,
Doing,
little
doing
butt
what he
wiggle.
doing his little dance. Very fun. Great skin, by the way. Great
Great
skin.
skin, yeah. If I played Corky, I'd definitely use that skin, because look at his little chubby feet as he swims through the air.
Oh,
That was the best skin from that event.
let's quickly watch here on bot side. I believe they have it warded, and they do see the Braum and the Tristana posing for a potential catch onto the Nautilus Jinx.
Rom is
So,
one of the strongest level 1 early supports, but it's warded, so they know they're
yeah,
there.
it is warded. They know that they're there, and the work immediately comes with them as well. Into a Nautilus hook onto the Braum itself. Flash from Warwick going on to the Braum. He is exhausted. First blood going over to Nautilus.
Yeah, that's just the issue with that play is the bush has got to be unwarded. I think that Charles and Rio should have realized it was warded when Nautilus kind of wavered about walking up, didn't immediately just walk straight towards the bush. That should have been a clue that, oh wait, maybe they know we're here. They're not just auto pathing to lane, because you wouldn't really kind of wander around like that if you were just going to go in on your own. Oh, good hook, but Charles is partially through the jump and does escape.
Yeah, it does look like a good escape from bot lane here. We do see some nice trading top side. I think that's what we're going to see a lot of, just the back and forth. Mundo, Vladimir, very just tanky people. And it's going to really come down to jungler aggression, like you said before. And what we're going to really dictate this game is going to be how each jungler reacts and changes his lane matchup for his team.
It looks like they have elected to do vertical jungling, where Lee did most of Warwick's blue side, and Warwick did most of Lee's blue side. So it will actually be a small camp lead for Warwick, because Lee did not do the wolves, but Warwick did do Lee's wolves. So he's going to be one camp ahead in terms of farm. They're both going to get the opposite scuttle, so trade of objective there. It is about a 200 gold lead for Warwick, but a lot of that's coming off the first blood assist. Lee's looking for topside, and Vladimir is relatively gankable at this point, so...
Yeah, so as long as Lee Sin lands his Q, it should be a pretty nice cleanup on the side of Lee Sin here and Mundo. And but we just gotta wait and be a little bit patient. Mastering the art of the ninja, if you will. So I'm just looking at the icons right now on our mini-map and seeing when Vladimir actually just goes a little bit too far forward, and the Lee Sin should engage from that. So you see,
as soon as the Crimson Rush, they should go now. Crimson Rush.
And here it is.
Out. Yeah, there we go.
There is the ward jump away though, so they do get the pool. The minions do come out there. Are they going to be able to catch the Vladimir? They do. Oh, not quite. He does sidestep the Q there, which does actually save his life. If Lee Sin landed that Q, that Vladimir was in danger.
Yeah, it's very well played by Oyopolina. He jumps in and hits the Tempest, and then waits for Vlad to come out of the pool to use Cripple, which slows Vlad and helps them chase. But both the Resonating Strike, Sonic Wave, sorry, Resonating Strike is the second half. Both the Sonic Wave and the Infected Cleaver do miss, so they're not able to land the slows. And that's one of the issues, I think, with this Mundo Elite Hotshot pairing, is that there's not really any hard CC there. So there's no actual lockdown, and in fact, there's very little hard CC on the side of Mundolicious at all. You have a lot of slows, but your hard CC is Lee Kick, Tristana ult, both, and the Tristana ult's usually a peel tool, and then Braum. Whereas there's a lot more hard CC on the side of Apes Together Strong.
Yeah, you can see just the aggression coming out from Apes Together Strong. Not really necessarily in bot lane. They're kind of keeping passive, knowing that they're gonna do pretty well in team fights, and the Nautilus hook being a huge changing point in a course of a team fight with his ultimate.
Yeah, and notably, despite that early kill, Charles does have a CS lead, about 10 CS, compared to Kazoo. So he's actually 50 gold ahead, and they basically evened up the ADC gold lead that the first blood did give them.
Now, as for dragons here, who do you think's gonna really be hyper aggressive onto dragon? Who do you think's gonna be taking it?
I think it'll be Warwick who's aggressing onto the dragon because Warwick excels at soloing dragon. Lee is good at soloing dragon, but he's not as good. So Warwick always has the threat to Lee of I could be doing dragon. Like the Lee has to second guess time he spends topside because anytime he spends topside and doesn't know where Warwick is, Warwick could be doing dragon. So Warwick can kind of control Lee's movement that way, or at least threaten to control his movement that way by forcing him to react to what he thinks Warwick might be doing. Both are gonna guess that each other's there. They don't catch each other on the sweeper plants, but they do see that the sweeper plants were activated, so they do know that the other jungler isn't bot jungle.
Yeah, so I think they do see Lee Sin on a ward. They do ping the Lee Sin, so I think that's Warwick's cue to almost start aggressing onto the dragon. And like you said, if he spends too much time top lane, that Warwick's just gonna take it.
Yeah, he's immediately going to do it because he knows that Lee is top lane. He took the red buff, which will give him extra damage. The burn will help chunk down dragon so that he can get it below half and activate his W Blood Hunt. Because the extra attack speed on Warwick is very valuable against these high HP targets because you can spend so much of your time with the bonus attack speed.
So they do pick up the not the ocean, the mountain drake here, and it's going to be going into an infernal immediately after. With that being said, Lee Sin saw the dragon being taken and is now going to do some counter jungling himself in Warwick's blue side jungle.
Yeah, and once again they're doing the vertical jungling. Warwick knows the respawn timer for the blue buff, so he's just gonna grab that. Lee's gonna grab his blue buff. Lee's going to be forced to back here because he's relatively low, unfortunately. So Warwick, I believe, did clean up the Grom, and so he'll maintain his small CS lead there. He was hunting Lee, but I don't think he's. But Lee is now back, so that should fall off. Oh, it's Mundo that he's hunting because Mundo is below half health.
Oh. Yeah, it's a really fun new mechanic for Warwick there, and it helps really understand, okay, well, this laner's low, let's go look there. It's great for especially like new junglers if you're learning to learn the jungle, learning to path and who to really gank for, because you can really like kind of adapt to it.
Yeah, Warwick is an excellent jungle to learn on. His basic mechanics are simple, his sustain is excellent, his ganks are relatively good. He has a mechanic that tells you who might be low enough to gank. So yeah, like if you're looking to learn jungle, Warwick or maybe Vi, I would say, are probably some of the better learning junglers.
We do see an engage going down onto the mid lane, both doing incredible damage. Orianna doing her ulti, Corki actually Valkyring, and the minions actually stopping the ultimate going down onto the Orianna, which would have been enough damage to kill the Orianna, but the minions say, "Get down, Mr. President," and save Orianna so she can do enough chip damage onto Corki here. Coming out on top, solo kill going to Ori.
Yeah, so the top laners traded ults, and then once again, no one dies. So they're just going to keep sending each other out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and actually being hyper aggressive onto the Vladimir here. Should be interesting if Mundo needs to rotate or needs to TP for a team fight in a next objective with no flash there. It'll be a little bit harder for him to engage onto the backlines and be the Mundo that everyone wants him to be, that tanky boy in the backlines just not being able to die.
He also doesn't have his teleport, whereas Vladimir does. I expect Vlad might just use it to TP back to lane, but so Mundo is going to be stuck in lane or backing and then walking back to lane if he wants to.
Yeah. And see here, I'm just watching the Vladimir, see if he does do the TP or if he's going to be saving it potentially for Dragon, or looking to wait for Mundo TP to come up and just going to be following with him. So he is just going to be walking to lane. You do see on the minimap there that he is just going to walk to lane and save his TP for any major objectives for team fights, or just watching Mundo for any TPs once it's up and countering him as well.
So Zixu had the package but didn't use it. Corki can only hold the package for 90 seconds. So he actually just loses that. He won't have it again. I don't know. It lasts for 60 seconds, and it's 4 minutes after he loses it. So it will be a few minutes before he can get package up.
It should be our next major objective is going to definitely be the Shelly and definitely going to be the next dragon. Having the early mountain and early infernal is really helpful in potential mid-game team fights.
Yeah, so it's Infernal and Infernal is just really...
Lee Sin flashing in, ulting the Orianna back into a nice Q there. And you do see the Warwick and the Vladimir immediately responding back. Warwick ulting in, Orianna pushing back the Lee Sin. There we go. The Warwick is going to be flashing onto Corki. Corki actually flashing away so he doesn't get feared from the Warwick. Whoa there. That Lee Sin had an incredible engage, but the follow-up from Apes Together Strong being at the Shelly, taking the Shelly, and then immediately rotating to help out the Orianna was vital in that fight.
Yeah, and they recognize that they lost a lot of early objectives in the first game, and they don't want to do it again, so they prioritize the Dragon, they prioritize the Rift Herald. Looking at itemization, Vladimir is building Death Cap first, which I think is fine, makes sense here. Typically,
Engage going in on bot side. Ulti's going down. The Jinx is in one more auto attack range to being stunned here. The Jinx healing up the Nautilus, getting in to flash away the Nautilus as well. The Warwick going to be going onto the Tristana, getting a nice Q. Here comes Vladimir. His phase rush is procced. He's going in onto the Braum now after his ulti does take out Tristana. Double kill going over to Vlad.
Yeah, he now has enough to finish off his death cap. This Vladimir is fully online. He's very, very strong. They're going to go for the second dragon here. That was just a great TP out of Cyan. I think they probably could have confirmed the kill, but he picks up 2 kills. And to be honest, Warwick kind of falls off a little bit. He doesn't do quite enough damage in the late game to solo. Like, he's good at like a 1v1ing tanks because he allows heal them, and he does good damage. But he doesn't push lanes very well. He can't side lane. His engage is sometimes a little awkward because he can be CC'd off of a target during his ult. So him getting all of the kills might not do as much. But they're like, look, we're gonna get all the kills on Vlad. So he actually finishes Spellbinder. So this Vladimir has a massive amount of AP. He's got a large amount of bonus movement speed. Like, he is the nightmare late game Vladimir, where he'll just run into your team and then like explode your backline with 2 spells while being untargetable.
You do see the step-by-step process coming in from Apes Together Strong, getting those 2 major objectives, getting those ganks that need to be held there. You do see the Orianna actually ulting, trying to catch the Lee Sin, and almost not even needing it after almost just a nice QE onto the Lee Sin, doing almost his whole HP bar.
Yeah, this Lee Sin is still pretty squishy. That's the issue with being a warrior jungler, is that you don't get any defense, and so you're still very vulnerable to being bursted down. So Lee Sin's going to start building into some health, probably Black Cleaver, maybe Steadfast Gauge. He needs a little bit. Oyapoline is hanging around, but I think he just needs to go back here. Or go to Farm's jungle.
Engage onto the Jinx there, into a nice Braum Q, into an ultimate, and then Tristana Goomba stomping in onto the Jinx, and then going Goomba stomping in onto the Nautilus. That might be a nice pickup on the side of bot lane here for Mundolicious there. Great engage there. Good call on to the Braum, going onto the minion and actually landing his Q onto Jinx there. We do see a fight happening topside. Warwick's going to be ulting in, and Mundo's going to be ulting back and just going to keep himself alive. He is a very tanky boy. He is level 11 Mundo, which is very strong. Basically, if Mundo hits level 16, he's almost unkillable.
Yeah, Mundo, he almost has ult. Yeah, he's going to pop it here.
There's the ulti there, and now he's going right onto the Warwick, and now going on to the Vladimir. Let's see if he can pick up one of these kills. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to really kill the Vladimir or the Warwick, but he will do a lot of damage. His ulti has fallen off now.
He got caught up in the minion wave. They mugged him.
Yeah, they mugged.
It's like, I don't know if you've ever played tabletop role-playing games.
From time to time, yeah.
I used to play one where the rules for like grappling and wrestling were kind of iffy. And
Okay.
as a result, people realized that a sufficient number of babies could defeat any target because it was really easy for them to grab you. And once enough people grabbed you, regardless of even if they were just infants, you would be defeated. So what was basically did was the window was grappled by a bunch of little minions, and it didn't matter if there was only one of them. They were, individually weak. They just all kind of mobbed him.
Now you do see Corky actually using his package to get to a safer spot. But then again, you also like that Corky package is going to be down for another about 4 minutes there.
Yeah,
should be
I don't think it's affected by cooldown reduction. I think it's just a static form.
Oh, okay, static. Oh, so from when he picks it up, it's 4 minutes after.
I think it's from when he drops it. Yeah, because it's at 216 now. So maybe it's from when he picks it up, but I think it's from when he uses it.
Oh, okay. And next major objective is going to be Cloud Soul, and you do see on the side of Apes Together Strong, having that strong lead, having those strong objectives, they might be going into a potential third dragon and soul point here. What do you think that Mundolicious has to do to really counteract this or get back into this game? What are their next steps on getting ahead again?
Well, so the good news for Mundolicious is that Mundo is relatively strong. He's got Spirit Visage, he's got Merc Treads, he's working on Warmogs, and there is no anti-heal yet at all on the side of Apes Together Strong. There's no Morellonomicons, there's no Executioner's Calling, there's not even an Ignite, so they really don't have good choices to kill this Mundo beyond kind of killing his team and then trying to mob him. I think what you need to do is try to pick off the Jinx or the Ori. You're not going to pick off the Vlad. He's too strong. He does too much damage. Cyanide's going to try here. Oi, Polina's going to fight.
Nice damage from the Vladimir ulti into W. This Lee Sin, very vulnerable in these stages of the game, especially going against these solo laners who have those really high level advantages onto him now.
Yeah, so I think that, is Mundo back? Okay, Corky's not back. I think that what they need to do is they need to catch the mid or bot. They need to catch King Majora or Kazoo, because they won't be able. Well, Mundo's just a distraction. They won't really be able to kill Mundo, at least not fast enough. And so if Mundo is just in the middle of their team slapping things and being corporate Mundo, then they can try to get the objective or get a pick, while the rest of the team is, trying to kill this giant blue man.
Yeah, we're gonna see the fight about to break out here for sure because of this dragon. They you see Mundolicious really not wanting to give this up, really saying that they are not going to forfeit to Apes Together Strong. They don't want them on Still Point, and so they're gonna go for, I think, a potential team fight here. Should be interesting on how this turns out. You do see them aggroing, I think, the dragon. Nope, they're just going to be poking it, but then dropping aggro. Boom, poking down each other. We're going to see just a little bit of a back and forth here, actually. Almost like the Western standoff for sure, just going, no you go. And then fighting back and forth.
I'm going to clear out these wards. So the vision control now does favor Mundolicious. They do have to answer the wave that Vladimir's been pushing into the tower, though. Apes Together Strong, however, are not going to be willing.
Now we do see a fight breaking out over there, and a nice engage, and almost a potential kill onto the Tristana. Massive Oriana ulti onto 3 members, and Mundo is a little bit too late to the party there. He is unable to answer back, and a huge win from Apes Together Strong, getting those 2 kills onto the Corky, onto the Braum there, and potentially picking up a turret and to a dragon, which Warwick is currently doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, so they use the Nautilus ult onto the Corky. But at first it looks like Mundolicious actually do a really good job of peeling back from the engage. Corky Valkyrie is out. Braum puts up a shield which blocks some of the damage. Tristana ults Vladimir away, so Vladimir is not able to do all of his damage. But then a massive Oriana ult from King Majora just explodes Zixu, and I think it caught Oya Polina as well. And the rest of the team is just forced to run. They are going to be regrouping here. It's about a 3,000 gold lead on the side of Apes Together Strong. But I think it's the dragons here that mean more, because you really don't want to fight a Vladimir with Air Soul. You really don't want to fight it. He's already got Spellbinder, he's got Phase Rush. He is the best. Like, he's, you know, like he's been watching The Flash on TV and taking notes the entire time.
Flash.
Like, he's going to be so fast.
Protector of the universe.
He's going to be so fast, and because he can spend so much of the fight untargetable because of his pool, like, he's just going to run into your backline, drop down the ult. Zixu and Cheryls are going to be basically taken out by a bullet train, and then he'll just be out there. And so
yeah, a lot of members on their team actually really benefit from the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, Nautilus helps him follow up on engages. Warwick, again, gives him more engages himself. And more, Orianna also has Phase Rush, so the extra moves will help her kite. Mundolicious are going to claim this mid-tier 1, get some gold back in their pocket, so they're only down a 2,500 gold at this point. It's not insurmountable with the scaling ADCs they have, and they are picking up anti-heal on the side of Tristana. I'd like to see them get some more because they really need it to deal with this Vladimir and this Warwick, and there still isn't any anti-heal. Orianna's working on Morello, but you did see, like, Hyarius took a lot of damage there and didn't die. Just because of how much his ult healed him for. So I think that if they can use Hyarius' strength and the relative lack of anti-heal, then Mundolicious can still come out on top of these fights. They do have the Corki package. I'd like to see them look to find someone in a side lane and get a pick, because I don't think the packages have had a huge effect on this point.
No, yeah, you do see the Apes Together Strong doing another reset. Gonna come back a little bit stronger and then reposition for a potential team fight, and or just push out lanes and wait for the next major objective.
Yeah, so they're posturing on Baron for Mundolicious. They're gonna grab the whatchamacallit, Scuttle Crab. They've got the package. It looks like they might be looking for King
we
of Clay,
might
which I think
looking onto Orianna, but then the Warwick actually pressing W and really using that as a way to show Orianna that they're close, actually. And you see Corki using the Valkyrie, doesn't able to really pick off anyone with it. And now they're gonna have to do another reset and wait for next major objective.
Yeah, I don't know if this is something they practice more, but I think I think Mundolicious could probably use a little more practice with the Corki, because Corki, since he doesn't really have a conventional ultimate, it is the package. He's a champion who gets a lot of benefit when you're able to use the package well, and if you don't use the package well, it's just a long cooldown that your team isn't able to follow up on. But he's so cute, the little Corgi.
He's a little cute little Corgi. Look at the little Corgi. Oh my god.
Little aviator cap on.
He's still swimming and he's going off.
So looking at itemization, the ADCs have almost the exact same items. There's an extra dagger on the side of Tristana, but otherwise Cheryls and Kazoo are pretty even. Mid lane's pretty even. It looks like Ori's a little farther ahead into her build, but Corki's building more expensive items. So he's actually about 1,000 gold behind, but in terms of where he is item-wise, he's not that far behind. Mundo has a lot of MR and health, but he does need some armor here. I'd like to see him do a Thornmail. Sunfire has good synergy with Mundo because it stacks with his own aura. Burning Agony, to give him even more ambient damage in a team fight. But the fact is that he doesn't really need the wave clear now, and he could benefit a lot from Thornmail to cut down the Warwick healing, and who knows, if Vlad auto attacks him once or twice, that'll cut down Vlad's healing as well.
Yeah, you can see that they're resetting, and now we have the soul point coming up on the side of Apes Together Strong in about 15 seconds here. So if there was a time to react, it's going to be now, and it's going to be a big team fight that's about to erupt, and it should be very interesting on how they're going to be positioning themselves, what they're going to be doing. You see Tristana pushing down mid lane, really putting pressure that side, them countering this with pushing down bot side here, and now Lee Sin is on and clearing out some wards at the Baron. waiting for the Nautilus to roam up. You do see the pings coming out from the side of Apes Together Strong. They do get a nice read on to the Warwick, getting a good fear off, so he isn't quite able to land the ultimate back onto his team to get the insect that they want. But there goes Braum, and to get the Vladimir picking up that, they do get the exhaust down on to the Tristana. Double kill Vlad. Vlad's in the back line. He's doing more. He gets a triple kill. He's going on to Mundo. Is there going to be a quadra? He is getting the Mundo flash. He is very hard to kill. That is a huge Titan. But they are going to now ignore the Mundo, look to the objectives, and look for possibly... They are pretty healthy in this. They might look for a double objective here. They might just go, we got Soul Point, let's go grab Baron. They don't have their smite up for another 15 seconds, and I think they can clear it pretty fast here. So, yeah, and then we see them quickly running over to the Baron pit. If anything shows up, I'm pretty sure they're just going to turn and murder it as soon as they see it in sight.
Yeah, they'll just turn and burn. With the air drag, it looks like they might... I'm not sure what they were waiting for. Warwick went to do something. But they are going to be... I think they're setting up to try to bait, because Mundolicious have to check it. They have to know that there's a possibility that they're going to go double objective. And so they have to check it. But they're actually not checking.
But they're not. They're not falling for the bait and switch. But they said, okay, fine, we're just going to do it then.
Yeah, so now it's no longer a bait and switch, it's just a switch, I guess?
I guess.
They're going to clean up this Baron, I believe, pretty easily here.
You see them rotating, but then it's gone.
Yeah, they don't check it in time for Mundolicious. This Vladimir is just, unstoppable at this point. He's 6-0-2, Rabadon, Spellbinder, working on Leandries. He could probably use a Void Staff if he wants to kill the Mundo. Mundo has not died yet. But given that his job is just to explode squishies, I don't even know if he needs it. I wouldn't mind seeing a Proto Belt. Vlad does benefit a lot from cooldown reduction, and he doesn't have any. It's very common for Vlad to go cooldown boots, and instead he went for the Ninja Tabby because of how much auto attack damage there is coming out of Mundolicious. So Proto Belt or maybe Zonius would be a good way for him to get a little bit of CDR into the build. I think he did go Transcend, so he does have 10% plus 5% from Cosmic Insight, and he did also go the CDR route, so he's actually at 23%.
See the quirky package, a passive one again, going back to his team. So that'll be down for the next fight there. What we're gonna probably see next is another reset into a potential either A, team fight, or B, getting an objective and running it down on the side of Apes Together Strong. In response to this, what do you think they have to do? What does Mundolicious have to really focus down on? Because their backs are against the wall right now. What can they do to make this comeback story happen?
I think we need to hard engage in mid, because Vlad is not really answerable in the side lane. You don't have anyone who's got the damage to kill him, or at least none of the people who have the damage to kill Vlad won't also die to Vlad. Mundo won't die to Vlad, but he won't kill Vlad either. But if Vlad's going to sit in the side lane, you need to force a fight in mid and have Mundo there and try to win the fight before. Shut down that Baron while Vlad isn't there. Get some shutdown kills onto the Orianna, onto the Jinx. Who's actually just lost her shutdown, I think, because of gold equalized. Rather than just sort of slowly leaking out. Like, you need to pull the trigger in mid and try to win, like, have Mundo come over and try to win this fight before.
Yeah, you do see the Mundo getting to his level 16 and engaging onto the Vladimir, actually. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pick him up. The Vladimir is really fast with the phase rush. Double ulti coming in from Orianna into a Jinx ulti. Does clean up the kill onto Tristana. Braum ulti going down, but it's not going to be able to pick up anyone. They're going to be looking to crack open this inhibitor. They do see the Warwick ulti going in. He's into the backlines now. There goes the Jinx. She is now hyped up and ready to go. She's on to the Braum. Nautilus onto the Corki. Mundo's trying to do the damage that he needs to do in the just on the whole team there, but then gets picked up by the Orianna. And nice hook coming in from the Nautilus, picking up the Braum there. And now we're just going to see Apes Together Strong, I believe, just looking for turrets. and potentially even to an end game situation here. We're gonna find out. We do see the Vladimir trying to pick off the 3 members there. He does get the nice shutdown to Tristana. Tristana's gonna keep fighting them off, gets a nice ulti up onto the Orianna, onto the Nautilus to back them off of the fight. And Apes Together Strong do getting a nice ultimate from Orianna once again. The quick cooldown on this Cloud Soul is pretty nice for Orianna. Really just kind of keeping them where she wants them to be. They're gonna do a nice reset, but when they come back, I think it's gonna be game.
Yeah, I think they could just sort of. There aren't any objectives to take for a while, so I think it's basically a question of pick a side lane at this point and just try to end through there. In spectator mode, we can't tell which objective is going to come up first. I think it would be Elder, because there was the same timer and Baron is.
So they have.
Baron was taken first. Second,
they have,
yeah, so it is Elder. So
Elder in 1 minute.
I would send Vlad and Orianna top, and have everyone else be bot. Because Vlad and Orianna both have their teleports available, and so they could teleport into the Elder, while everyone else pressures bot lane.
The Baron coming up in 1:40, the Elder coming up in about 35 seconds here, is going to be pretty nice on the side of Apes Together Strong. They feel pretty strong, and rightfully so. That Vladimir has been an absolute terror this game. The Orianna ultis have been on point this game. Really executing their team comp really well here. They're going to be trying to look for a pick right before a major objective. You see Warwick going in, the ulti from Nautilus going on to Tristana, Braum going down, Warwick picking up the kill on Braum with his ultimate there. And now we're just going to be looking down, trying to see if they can find any picks. If no more picks, they're just going to be picking up the Elder here. You do see the Vladimir going down onto the Corki. Nice damage, and down he goes. Vladimir flashing over the wall, getting to them. The Orianna just going to try and TP away from the Mundo back to her team. That's going to be an Elder, and they're probably, they have minions going mid lane here. And Vladimir's actually just in the base. Whoa, Nelly! There he goes! Taking out Tristana. Vladimir might just end the game by himself. There's no turrets. He doesn't care. He's Bloodsucker. He's just going to keep attacking the turret here. I don't think anyone's really going to be able to stop them.
Yeah.
He is pretty powerful. He's going to be taking out the Braum. He does have Elder now. And once again, he's just going to keep going down. His team's going to be showing up. And Apes Together Strong coming up big in another great game here. Let's just watch. They're going to be cleaning it up, and down it goes. GG, Apes Together Strong. Great series, great performance, and really well executed on what you needed to do. I've been watching game after game, and teams who constantly win are setting up the program. They say, okay, this is what we got to do. These are our win clauses, and now we got to execute it. Well, we execute it, just keep with the safe landing phase, kind of keep going back and forth, pick up picks wherever we can, get those major objectives that we need, and then just coming online when their power spikes are here, when they're getting to the big team fights, going in and positioning properly. Very well executed on the side of Apes Together Strong, and they should be doing this often, because they consistently just make a plan and stick to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we saw again one of the issues is not having good engage really hurts. Mundo doesn't bring engage. Like, they try for an insect on the Warwick before drag, which is a good idea. We want to pick off the jungle before drag. But when the insect doesn't go off, their only other engage is the Braum on the side of Mundolicious. But Apes Together Strong they have Nautilus ult, they have Warwick ult, like they have very clear, these are the buttons we press to start a fight. And always having, I feel like their team comps are very well rounded. They play for objectives well, and they learn well even within an individual match. Like, they lose 4 early neutral objectives in match 1. Match 2, they take all the early neutral objectives. Like, they did a really good job of being like, look, there's a little loophole in our play here. Let's tighten that up so that other teams can't exploit it.
Very well said there, Phoenix. And on another note here, give me your MVP, ace, and then just a follow-up final words on the series as a whole.
I think MVP's top here. It's got to be the Vlad, actually. It's got to be the Vladimir. massive damage, went for a very greedy build and absolutely paid it off. Just, rolling into team fights, one-shotting 2 people, 3 people, doing all the damage and the backline dive that Vladimir is known for. My MVP choice, my ace choice, I think I'm going to go for the Mundo as the top laner as well. Mundo did a really good job of getting into the back line, being super tanky, super hard to kill. I don't know if he died during that game, maybe once towards the end, but he was absolutely the distraction and the beefy front line that his team needed. They just didn't quite have the damage and the engage to follow up on what he was doing.
Yeah, very well said here. And now, as a series as a whole, how do you think these two teams can learn and adapt, and what they are going to see, what we're going to see more of in the future?
I think for Apes Together Strong, you want to see more of what you saw in the second game and less of what you saw in the first. They did win the first, but the early game was a little rough. And so for me, that's put your jungler on, put Randomonium on a more early game jungler. He farmed very well on the Amumu, but I felt like he gave up a lot of objectives in the process, which could have cost him the game in the end. Whereas on Warwick, had every objective every time. For Mundolicious, I think improving their draft somewhat is probably the play, because I feel like there were just a few holes with, not enough tankiness in the first game, not enough engage in both games, and drafting more well-rounded team compositions is really key in a organized team setting like this.
Yeah, very, very well said there, Phoenix. And when we come back here, folks, we're going into an Ionian Division game here. Funky Ducks versus Team Tempest. Phoenix, I know that you're going to be signing off here. Any last words?
It was great cast with people, and you're really going to want to stick around to see the next series. Trust me.
Thanks again, folks, and we'll be right back.